Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Thrills Custom T-shirts and accessories, sponsored by the Ice Shaker, and also sponsored by Make It Mac. You guys can buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel via www.chaseandthrills.com. You can purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com and follow Make It Mac on Instagram and Facebook. If you want some special orders, you know where to do that. DM them on Facebook or Instagram. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to get some more viewers as we trickle in through the show. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. We're all live off that. And Ben, glad to be back, man. We've got a pretty action-packed show. I know I say this every week, but this week we're talking UFC. We're going to sprinkle in a little baseball. We're going to talk Jaylen Brown's extension. Of course, we're going to get to some of those knockouts, as I mentioned, for the UFC. We'll kick it off with that. We've got some injuries in training camp. We've got some extensions in training camp. We've got some foreshadowing in training camp that me and Ben are going to get to later on in the show. So stay tuned. But, Ben, I'm just glad to be back on here after a little break.
Yeah, always excited, Josh. It was a nice little break. We're going to, get some energy back ourselves. It's summertime, Josh. So we got a little tired, and the sports aren't always rolling at this time, but now it's rolling right now. I think everyone's getting into a little football mode. Me and Josh were talking about before. I know I'm ready. I know Josh is ready. I can already feel it in the group chats. Everybody's all ready for this season to come. So I'm excited about that. And obviously the JB news we're going to get into. She bringing up another great point. Derek Lewis, we'll get to that one. The UFC helped me with some money in that one. It was a big win for me right there with Derek Lewis. That was a nice one. Didn't lose. Well, I lost in UFC, but I broke even. Didn't lose anything, but we'll get to that Jan Blachowicz fight. That was a costly one to me. I want to talk about that one. That was a little tough for me, but that just great card too. I know we're going to get into this one right off the bat, Josh, but
let us
heavy football
kick us off.
Heavy football one.
Heavy Josh, football later. Yeah, get us going with the UFC, Ben.
I'm kicking myself for this one too. Obviously, I'm the parlay man. Everyone knows that. So obviously, Jan Blachowicz losing. I hit 5 out of 6 on that one. Would have won $1,000, Josh, because I had Gaethje at the end. If Jan just wins that one, there's $1,033 to my name. Didn't win that one. Obviously, then I faded myself at the end, Josh. Poirier. I took Poirier. That was the wrong move. But Gaethje just proved it, man. This guy is legit. I know everyone's always hating me on the Poirier takes, but I don't know about his future now. Where does he go from now? He doesn't really. He's not really in title contention. He kind of just around for these big fights. I know Jimmy. I was talking to Jimmy at work. He was floating a little Nate Diaz fight, maybe Poirier versus Nate Diaz. I would love to see that one. Another iteration of the BMF. I know he's not the champ anymore, but they could probably do something sort of marketing wise with that. But overall, great card. And just getting back to that shout out Gaethje. I mean, he's going to be the next contender for that belt. He's probably going to fight Islam. Excuse me. Almost Israel. I'm still thinking about Jan Blachowicz. That's just. I'm still pissed about that. Sorry, Josh. Gaethje is the most fun fighter. That guy just puts on a show every time. And like I said, I mean, that kick just was not expecting that. I gave Poirier the first round. Obviously Poirier showed out there, but I mean, that kick was just vicious. One of the best knockouts I've seen so far. My UFC watching career. So shout out to Gaethje for that. But overall, great card. Watch out for Gabriel Bonfim. Hopefully I said that last name right. This guy's going to be next up and coming contender. I want to double check his weight class right now, but this guy put on a show, undefeated Brazilian. This guy just subs everybody out. He's got the knockout power. You saw it on display on this card. So overall, great card, Josh. In 2 weeks, also, we're almost there. We're almost to the Boston card. So I think we got a couple nice fight nights setting up. But overall, just trust your gut sometimes, Josh. Trust your gut. Don't do what I did. And shout out Gaethje, because Gaethje really just puts on a show, and love watching him out there.
Couldn't agree with you anymore. And I know, I guess it was just fate. I mean, it's one of those things. I'm a huge Dustin fan. You know, I started really getting into it when he was in the midst of the Conor McGregor thing. Not the first fight that they had, but the second and third ones I watched. It was a tough one. I thought he handled it really well, and like you said, Justin Gaethje, one of the most entertaining fighters. I remember watching him and Michael Chandler, absolute instant classic. I think that one fight of the night. We always go back to that card. I think that was who was that? That was, I know it was Colby Covington and I don't know who else it was.
It was Chang Wei Li too. She was a woman's title online. I think she won it on that card. Yeah, I remember.
Throwback to that card.
North Carolina for that one. So shout out to that North Carolina trip. Seeing the Patriots beat down on the Panthers. So sorry for that one. Never like to see the Patriots beat down, but yeah, I believe it was that card. Those guys always. I can't wait. I would always love to see another Chandler Gaethje fight. Those guys put on a show every time.
Oh, for sure. Anthony, you said Gabriel Bonfim, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Welterweight. You might have said
welterweight. Thank you, Josh, for that one. Yeah,
welterweight. Good odds on that fight as well, plus 260. So if you put some money on him, you're feeling good.
I was about to say, I was feeling nice. What, Bonfim? I think Bonfim was the favorite, Josh.
Was he?
Pretty sure.
Right here. I'm looking on UFC. It says plus 260.
Oh.
Giles was minus 315. I could be wrong. This is the UFC odds, so that could be wrong. But
I wish I got that one. I don't know, Josh. I don't know. I wish I got that one. No, I think it was, I don't know. That one might be, because Bonfim's the next big deal. Okay. Giles is a good veteran. This is a good test for him. And thank you for that one. It was Thug Rose in that title fight that we were talking about with Chandler. It was Thug Rose versus Chang Wei Li. Whatever, sorry if I butchered that name, but she will be in that Boston card as well. So she puts on a great fight too. And she say I need to retire the BMF gimmick. I don't know. Listen, I know it's a little corny, but
filler,
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think of Connor with that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think of him.
Nate. Like you said, I go Nate when I think of it. I like.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. But yeah, no, to your point, I thought it was a great card. Obviously, I'm a huge Poirier fan, so any card he's going to be on, I'm all in for. Huge disappointing if you are a Blachowicz or you put money on him. Pereira, I know some people thought Jan won. I was happy because I had that fight going to decision. It did. I also had Pereira winning, so I was happy to see that. I know, to each their own. Some people feel the UFC had a little bit of a hand in it because they want Pereira to be the next big thing. Jan's kind of on the way out. I don't know. I'll bat a blind eye to that. But again, going back to that main event, Justin Gaethje, one of the most dangerous fighters in the game. You know he's going to risk it all. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you, even from round one with those leg kicks that were really getting to Dustin. And it's funny because Dustin was saying that. He was like, I was trying to kind of switch up and avoid those leg kicks. And yeah, Gaethje just kind of caught him slipping with a nice leg kick to the head. And that's just I guess that kind of goes to the BMF belt. That's what you do when you're a BMF. Friendly podcast, so we're gonna abbreviate it. But yeah, overall, Ben was great. Tony Ferguson sliding. I saw something on Facebook. Just hasn't won. I think he was 13-0, 12-0 to start his career. Has not been the same fighter ever since. Got absolutely mauled by Bobby Green.
He's got to go, Josh. He's got to retire.
Yeah,
it's just tough to see, but
it might be time to move on the way out for there. Kevin Holland getting back on the winning side of that. Derek Lewis as well. It's so funny you said that. Me and a bunch of the guys went out. Jeff, Jerry, Lewis, all those guys. Me and Jerry were going to throw him in a parlay with Pereira Jeff said no. Everybody at the table said, oh, no, no, Lewis lost a bunch of his fights. Don't do it, don't do it. I had a weird gut feeling about him. I get those weird gut things. Last card I had one. I should have just rolled with it. I'm not going to blame them because obviously it's on me as well. I didn't end up doing that. We stuck to the Poirier fight. I didn't want to bet on him because, I don't know, I was getting weird on it. But yeah, Derek Lewis put on a great, phenomenal fight as well. And yeah, I thought the card was good, and it's a tough one for the Diamond, and I agree with you, Ben. I don't know what direction he's going to go in from now. You look back to the Oliveira fight, lost that one, beats Chandler, loses this one. So couple losses that he's kind of strung up here in the last 4 or 5 fights. In the direction that he's going in, the UFC as well, they're bringing up some younger guys. That division is extremely deep as well. Very deep division. And yeah, I mean, he's taking some steps back. I want to say he's still in the top 10. He's still ranked, I would assume.
Yeah, he's still ranked.
Yeah, just sliding down now. It might be here right now.
I believe it was top 5 at least. But, I think he's going to be... I think it was just from the previous fights. He's still holding that ranking. And like you said, he's obviously going to slide down. We got some top prospects coming back, but I shout out Derek Lewis too. I mean, coming back with the 6-pack. I mean, I don't know what Jeff's thinking. Jeff, listen, no offense to the other fighter, Marco. I want to get the name right. Marco Rodrigo de Lima, but I mean, I know he was on a couple fight winning streak. It wasn't really against the best competition. That guy really wasn't the best, and Derek Lewis needed to win badly. And love the celebration from Lewis. Obviously taking the pants off, having a little dance. He just brings the entertainment factor. So yeah, Josh, I'm kicking myself too. I should put him in there, but final words on the Blachowicz fight. It's our classic argument, Josh. What do you value more, the grappling or the striking? Obviously, Blachowicz won the round 1. Pereira obviously won round 2. If you ask me, I'm a little more, sided on. Well, obviously, on one side, I think Jan won round 3. Nobody really did anything. He had some nice jabs down there. Obviously, had that last sort of takedown with 30 seconds left. And he gets to the other point. Does he do anything with it? No, not really. But I mean, he still got the takedown. He still controlled them. So you got to look at that. But it's just what you value more, Josh. If you value the takedown, the wrestling, or the striking, because obviously you had the bigger strikes on Jan. So I could see you going both ways. Obviously, I want Jan. Obviously, I think he won round 3. So if you got round 1 and 3, it's kind of 2 to 3. It's kind of easy math on that one, but I could see how Pereira won that one. It's just had the bigger strikes, bigger impact. Obviously, Jan looked a little more gassed at the end, so sometimes that helps sway the judges in one way. Unfortunately, but can't complain too much. And I'm kicking myself too. We should have thrown Derek Lewis in there. Derek Lewis.
I think we all are, and I vividly now remember towards the end of that Jan fight, because I was on the opposite side of the pendulum there, the whatever you want to call it, the opposite side of the fence. I wanted Pereira to win, and I remember Jan kind of went for I don't even think they counted it as a takedown. Towards the end, it was literally within the last minute, 45 seconds of the round, and I'm looking at Jeff. I'm like, oh my god. I'm looking at Jose. I'm like, dude, this is a takedown, because I think that would have been 3-1 on takedowns. That's points. And like you said, the fight was super close as it was. So I'm over here I'm taking every little thing into effect here, but I don't even think they counted it, put it into effect. And I agree. I think I agree with you and Charlie. I think it was just a really close fight in general. I know some people are going to say that the judges have the UFC has their hands in it. The judges botched it. I've heard a bunch of different things. I've heard Jan won round 3. I've heard Pereira won round 3. I've heard Jan had more takedowns. That should have overweighed, was more dominating on the grappling side, whereas Pereira landed a significant amount of more significant strikes. Like you said, to each their own. It's how you weigh it. They could have went either way. They went in the younger fighter's direction, the one who has taken out Israel Adesanya. And yeah, I overall, Ben, I thought it was a great card. It's just, again, just keeping it moving, keeping those wheels churning for the UFC. I think they're doing a great job as well. They've got a couple other great cards on the line. They've got a huge fight night coming up. And when I say huge, I mean it's actually 2 fighters I know. They've got Corey Sandhagen, Rob Font this weekend. That's going to be a great one, Saturday night. And then, yeah, you've got the one in Boston. That's, I believe, there's another fight night. Dos Anjos. And then it's Sterling and O'Malley. So
right there.
That's a good one.
Right
Yep, you've
there.
got Zhang. You've got 2 championship fights on that. Marlon Vera. I mean, Jeff Neal. Cody. Oh, wow. Cody Garbrandt. I mean, this is a great card
Ian
for Boston
Gary's
as
there.
well,
Ian
finally.
Gary.
So, UFC moving in the right direction. Boston fans, I see why. I see why those tickets are kind of jumping up in price. But, hey, great card. I want to end it on this note before we turn over. We're going to switch over to Jaylen Brown. I'm going to get your thoughts on the extension as well as some other people who are watching. That's our next big topic because we were off last week. But I just want to leave it on this note. No hard feelings for Justin Gaethje. Great fighter. I'm not salty about the Dustin Poirier thing. I'm more just upset. I caught him kind of towards, I don't want to say the end of his run, but I hope he's got a little left in the tank. I know he was doing his interview and he said, this is what I live for. This is what I love. Like, I've already won life. Like, no matter what happens from here, I'm going to keep moving up and I'm going to come back, whether it's from a year now, 6 months, more time than that. I'll be back in the ring. So hopefully you can bank on that. But great card. Great fight. Shout out Gaethje. And yeah, I agree with you, Ben. I think he deserves it. This guy also, I just want to say, since I've started to watch UFC, he's had... I mean, I know this is kind of like a random stat, but I've seen this guy in a lot of pay-per-views. He's working hard. He's not taking years off. He's not just going for big draws. He's not afraid of anybody. And hey, he knocked out a great fighter in the second round. I think he deserves that fight. For sure, Ben.
Yeah, shout out Gaethje. He deserves everything right there. And he deserves a title fight, which he'll be getting. I said, obviously, against Islam. Probably not going to win that one, but you never know. Hopefully his grappling got a little better. Just ended on that. Yeah, she don't agree with she. Saying she said Jan was gassed. Definitely didn't win round 3. Don't agree with that. But him, Joe, and Charlie G will be in attendance at the TD Garden UFC 292. So they managed to get tickets. So shout out to Chi and them. Expensive tickets, but I mean it's going to be a crazy experience for him. So shout out. Hopefully that UFC can be another great card. And sort of just get that Boston momentum for UFC, Josh. So, I know Ian Gary's on there, my guy. Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal. So that'll be a great one. And obviously Sterling.
Very good one.
O'Malley. So, yeah, we got a great card, Josh. I'm excited.
Women's championship fight.
Women's championship, too. We got a great card. So hopefully they put on a show for us in Boston. But let's go O'Malley.
I know a lot of people hate Garbrandt. I like him. That'll be good. I'm entertaining for it. And yeah, Joe, Charlie G, and I, sorry about that, will be at TD for 292. So, hey, that's awesome. Take some pictures, send it in to us. We'll post them. Hope you guys have a good time because this last card looked like it didn't look like it. It actually lived up to the hype, and this one looks like it's going to live up to the hype as well. So that'll be fun. I want to welcome in Mikey. Welcome back, Mikey. So he's got some great stuff about Jaylen Brown. That's great because we do too. Jaylen Brown signing a 5-year, $308 million deal with the Celtics. The wait is over. Has he signed yet? Why hasn't he signed? The quotes of Jared. It's done.
We know that one.
He signed. Jaylen Brown is in Boston to stay, at least for 5 years. He looks happy on the images, as you can see here. I think, I'm just going to start it off, Ben. I think this is a move Boston had to do. I don't want to use it similar to the Dak Prescott situation. That's how I think of it, or the Aaron Judge thing. But I think it's kind of similar. The Celtics were backed in a corner. They drafted this guy. They want to stick with this guy. The tandem of Tatum and Brown. Look at all the success that they've had. I know they haven't won a ring, and I know that that's the long goal here in Boston is to hang up that banner 18. But from what we've seen from Jaylen Brown and what we've seen from Jaylen Brown with the Celtics, we've seen plenty for him to earn a lot of money. I know some people say, I don't think he deserves a super max, but I think he does. I mean, you look at his stats, every single year he's ascended from 2016 to 2023. he's jumped up 20 points per game. He started off as a rookie or averaging 6 points per game. Now he's at 26.6. 4 years ago, he was averaging 20 points. 5 years ago, 13. So it's like every single year he's taken that leap. His field goal percentage, great, efficient shooter, can do all different types of things. Aids Jason Tatum tremendously. And one of the biggest things about Jaylen Brown that I think coming out of this and why I think he's worth this super max, you look at a bunch of the guards, and I'm taking him over a bunch of the shooting guards. I'd even go off to say I'm taking him over some guys like Devin Booker. I'm taking him over Levine. I might even take him over guys like Anthony Edwards, who everybody's obsessed with. People love Ja Morant, but you've got to factor in the off-court stuff as well. I mean, that off-court stuff is just as important. Jaylen Brown continues to get his job done. He likes Boston. I know James doesn't agree with it, but we've seen success with Jaylen Brown. You know that if he left, that's going to open a whole other can of worms for Tatum. Be enticing for him to leave. You've got a big three centered right now in Porzingis, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. Why not just bring him back? I think they had to do it. It was the right decision. Either way, we signed him for too much money. Okay, so be it. He's worth that money. The money is just going to keep going up and up and up and up. Look at Siakam. Look at, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm blanking on him. The Portland Trailblazers just signed him. He's on the tip of my tongue. The forward there. Way more. Yeah, Grant. He's making like Jeremy Grant. He's making like $30 to $35 million a year.
Oops.
More like a $20 million player. So the salary cap's going up. People have been talking about that for a while now. That impacts the Jaylen Brown thing. The Supermax is here. He signs it. We're going to get him for another 5 years. Hopefully Tatum comes next. I'm all in on it, Ben. I like it. I don't think he's a part of the problem as to why we haven't been able to win championships. I know he has a turnover problem, but that can be easily fixed. Bring him here. I like it. Keep him here.
No, that's a perfect point, Josh. Perfect point at the end. That's the NBA. Everyone's getting paid now. Jared's not going to like that one, but yeah, Jeremiah Grant probably shouldn't be getting that much money.
And I like him. I do like him, but not too much.
Player.
Too much.
Yeah, he's a solid player, but you just have a good couple of years. He had a good couple last years with the Pistons, his last tenure. And it was he just showed out, and if you have a good couple of seasons, you got paid. So, I think Brown has, obviously, as Josh pointed out throughout the year, his progressions throughout the years, he's improved every single year in every single aspect. So, I know, listen, we can obviously point to the turnovers, but it really just happens in the clutch moments. I know that's not good to say and coming out of my mouth right there. As I say, it doesn't sound as good, as smart. But I mean, look at, through the rest of these playoff series up until this last one with the Heat, he was our top performer. Even when Tatum was struggling, he was right there. There's just something that makes him crumble. In some of these clutch moments, he's just got to figure that out. But if that's our biggest problem for him right now, I'm going to take it because he shows out throughout the regular season in these moments leading up to it. As you point out, obviously, I'm going to take him. Over some of these other guys, like the Jaws. I'm still thinking about the Devin Booker. I still, Josh, that Devin Booker one. That's maybe a coin flip for me on that one. But the rest of the guys, boom, easy. Obviously, I take him any day over those guys. I think he's earned that right. He's earned that praise. He's just, I just don't see, Josh, I don't really get the Dak one. Maybe that's just his Cowboys in him, but I agree.
Yeah, that was
the Judge take.
That was
his little Cowboys one.
It was a little weird because I feel like Tatum obviously is the superior player in Boston. I was kind of just thinking like, the Dak, throw the Dak one out. But again, just to kind of go off the point too, like you're over here saying it's a coin flip for Devin Booker, and a lot of people would say they're going to give Devin Booker the Supermax. So again, I think that's an example of why he deserved the Supermax. And to answer this question, because I know you can play off this as well, Ben. Mikey coming in. Do you think the Celtics need to pay the luxury tax? Yes. I think they're going to be well over that threshold of the cap. They're definitely going to have to pay. They're definitely going to get into the luxury tax. I mean, with Porzingis, Tatum, and Brown's contracts alone, you got to remember they still have Rob Williams. Al Horford's contract was kind of high last year. So they still got some guys that they've got some mouths to feed. They're paying a lot of people, especially 3 big contracts with Porzingis, Brown, and Tatum. I'm going to assume they're definitely over the luxury tax.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that as well. I mean, especially with this Porzingis one, bringing Porzingis in, I think we kind of all assumed, we're going to have to pay a little of that tax. I think we're going to dip into that. Obviously, the rules get a little tighter with that stuff, so we're going to have to watch out, possibly losing draft picks and everything. But I think it's worth it. I think we got to do it. Like I say, everyone gets paid now, so it's just the NBA. Everybody's getting paid. Some people obviously. I mean, you saw what Grant got. I know people, have their own thoughts on Grant and everything, but Grant's making that type of money. Uh, so it's just the nature of the sport. It's a big business right now. Everyone loves basketball. NBA is one of the top sports out there. So, but I wanted to get back to that Judge comparison. I like the Judge one, Josh. I think that one makes a little more sense for the comparison. Because I mean, if you get rid of Judge, what are the Yankees? What are we in rebuild mode? And obviously Brown. If you get rid of Brown, it's kind of like, what are you doing? We're kind of leaning. Obviously we still have Tatum, but it's kind of leaning more towards let's rebuild around Tatum. So I think in both those instances, you had to sign both the players. You don't want to lose the fan base. Obviously the Yankees, if they lost Judge, I think the Yankees fan base would be a little upset. Celtics, I think it'd be sort of a mixed bag, but I definitely think it would be, a little more upset people. But I think these are just moves, as Josh said. I agree with this one. You just got to make. You got to just have these guys back. They put so much time into this franchise. You don't want to rebuild. You want to start over. We've already got so close. I don't think we're making a move that big in order to rebuild and get to that next level of a championship, bring that 18th banner. So I like the move, but no more excuses for him. It's the richest contract in NBA history. You got to go out there and perform. You got to go out there and come out in those clutch moments and deliver. I can't have him dribbling into double teams and losing the ball every possession. Once it comes down to crunch time, once in the conference finals, etc. So, no more excuses. That defense has got to step up too. No smarter Grant Williams to bail people out anymore. Everyone's going to have to step up as well. So, just want to put that one out there, Josh.
You're not wrong. We do lose a piece of defense with Grant Williams and Marcus Smart leaving. You can make the argument they're probably Rob Williams a great defender too, down low, but they're probably your two best defenders. So they're gone. Going to have to replace them in some other ways on the court. Some people believe Porzingis can be one of those guys. Great pick and roll defender down low. We'll see. Jared disagrees. Yeah, Marcus Smart left, Aaron. Breaking news. But yeah, Mikey, we're going to answer one more question on the Celtics. Then we're going to do a quick MLB thing, just super fast. And then we're going to get to your football stuff. We've got plenty of football stuff to get to. But Mikey coming in here with a question. Which Celtic do you think will be the next to leave? I was thinking about it on air. I'm like, ooh, who do you think it'll be? Like, my mind first went like, I don't personally think they're going to keep this big three for... I think I heard it somewhere else, but I agree with this take. This big three will not be together, and then after 2 years from now, my cat's meowing in the background, so everybody say hello, hello, Romo. But yeah, I don't think that the big three will be together in 2 years, if that helps, Mikey. But if I got to say somebody, maybe Al Horford. He's getting older, probably going to go at some point. They love Rob Williams. I doubt they'll move on from him, at least yet. Probably let that contract play out. But I'll say Al Horford, maybe the next one to go. And another bold take, I don't think that this Celtics big three is together in 2 years, counting this season and then the year after.
Yeah, I'd probably go Pritchard. Probably Pritchard's gone or somewhere. I was going to go Rob. I was going to go Rob Williams, to be honest, Josh. I was going to say maybe... they look elsewhere with him. Maybe they shop him. Injury concerns. You got just so many injury concerns on this team now with Porzingis and Rob over here. And yeah, Romo. I don't know what. Listen, Aaron. She's a little upset with Al Horford leaving too. I'd be upset with Al Horford leaving. I don't want to see Al gone. But I like that one from Josh too. I could see him going. He's getting a little up there in age. Probably gotta let him go sooner than later. No offense to Al. Love Al, but late 30s, we just need a little more athleticism on there, especially with guys like Porzingis and Rob Williams that prone to injuries. So I'm probably gonna watch out for that. I like that one. I just didn't want to copy Josh in that one, but I'll go safe pick Pritchard. He's probably gone. I know he's obviously not a big part. He's a decent part of the team, good regular season player, but uh,
Been here for
listen
a
for a
while.
hot take. Yeah, he's been here for a while. Fan favorite. People know him. But I could see Rob Williams possibly being shopped. If the right deals on the table.
For sure.
No, I wouldn't be totally against it. I'd be a little more forthcoming than I was about the Smart deal. I've obviously got talked back into it. I'm all right with the move, but as I just mentioned, I want to see this defense. If this defense stinks, yeah, this is kind of what Aaron's saying. I'm just gonna
Aaron,
ignore all these
Domino's is
ones.
free range. I don't know whose it is, but hey, this is a classic rule. Taking a little quick
I mean, yeah, I wanted
sports
to.
time out here. If the food's in there for more than like 2 or 3 days, it's free range for the house. So Aaron,
Yeah.
go in on
I was trying to understand some of the comments.
Yeah,
The
people are probably like,
Domino's one.
"What?"
Now I get the
Erin is at my
Anthony's
house,
Domino's
so
comments.
she's. Yeah, it is. Hey, we are child friendly, Ben.
Yeah.
Mikey, we're keeping it child friendly. Erin's trying to
Child
look
friendly.
for Domino's. But
Watermelon high noon too.
watermelon.
Okay.
No, that's we're hugging the
That's
border.
all right.
We're hugging the borderline there. But yeah,
That's
I
all right.
agree. I agree. I think the Peyton Pritchard one makes sense. He's actually come out and said he wants to leave. I'm pretty sure he's not
Oh,
happy
that's it.
here with the guard role
Oh,
that he's
whoops.
getting. Hopefully, he gets a little bit more time. Anyways, we'll see. With Marcus Smart being gone, I know Brogdon will for sure. Still got Derek White in that front court. Excuse me. But yeah, Celtics re-signing Jaylen Brown, like it. I think that's a move that they had to do. We're going to quickly move over MLB trade deadline. We're going to do a quick little take here. I know Justin Verlander back with the Astros. Astros trying to go all in on a playoff push, bringing him back. We know the success he's had in Houston in the playoffs. And your Red Sox, they made a couple small moves, shipped out Kike Hernandez to the Dodgers in exchange for 2 pitchers, Nick Robertson and Justin Hagenman. And the Red Sox, right today, buzzer beater acquire that they made. I'm assuming maybe because the Kike Hernandez, they wanted to add some depth in the infield. They acquired the infielder Luis Urias from the Milwaukee Brewers, who is having not the best season this year statistically, but this is just a plug-and-play guy. I think they're doing this because they know Trevor Story's coming back, but they want a little versatility there. They probably don't want to put Justin Turner there all the time. He's more of a second baseman, utility guy, DH, wherever. Just a guy to kind of play the ball. That's how I look at it. Small moves for the Red Sox, the Heimblum way. That's how I look at it in a nutshell. But Bednar didn't move. Mitch Keller, those 2 high-rated pitchers for the Pirates stayed. Who else? I'm blanking on a couple other names. I know the Yankees didn't make any huge deadline moves. I know Scott Barlow went over to the Padres. They added a nice little bullpen guy from the Royals. But big name
They stink,
guys, Juan
Josh. They
Soto
stink.
stayed. Yeah, Padres are a disappointment. They lost last night to the Rockies. 4-3 in extra innings. Shout out Jared. I feel
Shout out
bad
to the
for
Rockies.
you poor sucker for betting on the Padres. Shout out to the Rockies for crushing your heart with a
Padres,
very
man,
young
come on.
team. But yeah, again, not a huge MLB trade deadline. Small little shuffles around the league. I liked a couple of the moves that were made. Justin Verlander on the move. Not DeGrom. Max Scherzer as well, going over to Texas. That's a big move for them. Chris with a bold take saying they're going to lose in the first round. We'll come back to that maybe as the year goes on. I like that. But small moves in the MLB trade deadline, but that Justin Verlander one's a big one. Red Sox making small moves. I don't hate it. Small deadline, quiet one. Like you said, Ben, NFL's kind of taking over, and that's where a lot of the buzz is coming from right now. Sorry, baseball fans.
Sorry, baseball fans. A little confused with the Padres too, Josh. I'll just give my quick 2 cents on it. They stink. I don't know why they're making moves. I thought they'd be sellers. Spencer Barlow. Maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe you can. Sort of critique me on this one. I don't know. I don't think he's having that good of a year. I don't know.
Solid. Just an arm. Just an arm.
Yeah, I've seen him blow a couple leads for the Royals, even though they just screwed me in a parlay too. Hit a nice Bobby Witt hit a nice 3-run homer to beat the Twins in Extras. I wasn't too happy about that, but Barlow blew a 4-2 lead in that. I don't think the Padres, need to get that more pitching in there. I think they need to get a little better pitching from what I've seen from them. They've just been awful and just can't keep up. That offense has been stagnant. They just, they've got all the offensive firepower, but Where's Bogarts? I don't know what's going on. Soto, decent year. Nick DeBosa bringing up stories. He'll be back. That'll be nice. Little one for the playoff push. Josh said, I forget nice little moves for the Red Sox. I don't really care. Let's just I could care less if we did any moves. I just love to see what we could have done with this team. This team's really just going. Whatever. I didn't have any expectations for this team, and they're exceeding everything so far. Don't like losing that games to Mariners. We're on a little road game slide right now. Of course, when we're almost there in wild card contention, we go on a little slide, but typical Red Sox. But so it's just a big trade deadline. The Mets just blowing it up. Obviously, as you said, Max Scherzer, Rangers, Verlander, Astros. The Mets just sort of handing it in, calling it quits on this season. So tough to see from the Padres and Mets almost having $1 billion in payroll. Neither team will make the playoffs. So shout out to them. We're just gonna ignore those comments, Aaron. I don't really want any hot talks. But like maybe a high noon. I'll take a high noon, but I don't know about the hot talks.
I like the Mikey coming in and reminding Aaron, child friendly. A couple points there I just wanted to go off too. Yeah, the Padres, they are just a key testament to people who advocate for, the Hein Blooms of the world, that if you overpay, this is what the problems can be. If you buy your team, it's not always going to be the best. All these all-stars on the Padres, Mets as well, doesn't always pan out. And baseball's kind of can be wild card things. You could be a better team without star power. Obviously, star power matters, but again, you got to have a balance. These two teams are proven facts that it doesn't always help out when you overpay for your teams. But back to the Barlow thing. Great career pitcher. Not so hot of a year this year. Kind of living off that last year. I didn't even realize these stats. Only allowed 18 runs last year. 7-4 record, 24 saves, and an ERA of 2.18. So they're kind of living off that name of last year. So Erin just coming out. She wants to DM. Oh, here we go. Back in the saddle here with Erin with the jokes. We're gonna move forward. NFL training camp. I'll let Ben rebuttal to that in a second. But yeah. NFL training camp. We'll see what sticks with you guys here. But a bunch of things happened. We've got offensive linemen holding out. We've got Jalen Ramsey getting hurt. We've got a Justin Herbert max extension here that we're gonna talk about a little bit. I got a couple things I want to flutter out here for you guys. Jalen Ramsey getting carted off. As I mentioned, he most likely will be out for majority of the year. We've got a little quarterback controversy for the number 2 spot in San Francisco between Darnold and Lance that we'll talk on. Joe Burrow out for a little bit with a calf strain. We'll talk about our thoughts on the Bengals, how they'll do without him, thoughts for him moving forward. I know Dak Prescott had one of those. It lingered for a while. Those can be serious. Donovan Wilson and the Cowboys getting hurt as well. Not as big as Joe Burrow, but a lot to chew on, a lot to kind of take in from. But Ben, what news? I mean, one of the biggest things for me is the Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey getting hurt. I know the Dolphins kind of went all in. I still think that they're a problem if Tua's healthy. Somehow that team in the regular season, and we haven't seen them much in the playoffs with Tua, if at all. But when Tua's there, they make damage. Jalen Ramsey would have been a fun part of that team. I still think that defense is young enough, but Jalen Ramsey getting hurt, you don't want to see that. And same for Joe Burrow. I mean, that Bengals team was trending in the direction of being that dark horse to kind of knock off the Chiefs each and every year, give the Bills a hard time as well, beating them in Buffalo. Could throw a wrench in it, Ben. Could throw a wrench with that injury. I know Dak Prescott struggled. So 2 teams here. What do you think for each of these teams?
Yeah, I mean, just everyone's getting injured now. I don't know what's going on AFC East. Getting a little banged up. Garrett Wilson. I don't know if you mentioned that one too, Josh, but just want to throw that one in there. Garrett Wilson getting a little injury as well. But I mean, it's kind of opened up for the Pats a little. I hate to say it, but some of these key injuries, as you mentioned, Ramsey, as I mentioned, Wilson. I mean, some of these key injuries happening to these teams. Just kind of maybe open up a door for the Pats. I want to maybe sort of get these Pats fans excited. Maybe just so these teams can sort of crush their hopes eventually when they start playing. But no, I'm excited, to see some of that going on. Obviously, Herbert extension. That's a good one. I know you didn't get to this one, Josh, but I just want to transition completely. I mean, we've got the worst owner possibly in sports.
How could I forget?
I know you wanted to get to that one. Listen, we can talk about all these backups. Who cares? The backup Darnold and Trey Lance. I feel bad for Trey Lance. And that was a quick one for me. I just feel bad for him. I think he's going to kill Sam Darnold in that competition. But you never know. If Darnold could put up a fight. But I think, maybe. If Trey Lance shows out, maybe just traded somewhere. You never know. I know Brock Purdy's. I know they want to do a little quarterback competition right there, but I think Brock Purdy's got it pretty much. He's got that locker room, I believe, over there, believing in him. I think that's his team. So Trey Lance might be wanting to just put on a performance, maybe enhance that trade value, maybe get somewhere shipped a little decent for him to get a new start over there. I think, unfortunately, that injury just backed him up. He just lost his spot, but Jim Irsay just continuing to be the worst owner. Sorry to Jose and Jeff. I know Jose might be a Chargers fan now. I'm still kind of trying to read up on the text. Still trying to figure out if Jose is a Chargers fan or not. But sorry to Jeff. I know Jeff hasn't transitioned yet or gone over to another team. But just the worst owner, possibly in sports. Obviously, got the Clippers owner. Might take the cake. Obviously, he might just be number one. But I mean, Irsay is definitely almost there with Sterling. He is maybe a tier down, looking to get in that tier. I just don't know what he's saying, especially with the team just getting Anthony Richardson, got a nice, young, exciting quarterback, pair him up with, a young, exciting running back who's had an off season last year, but just coming off a stellar season before. But a lot of offensive line struggles with that team, and it's just a team just transitioning in this rebuild process. So you got to give them a little time. You got to give them a little, not excuses for that one, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Last season, the Colts are struggling, but I don't know why you come out with those comments, Josh. I don't know if he's been taking any pills lately. It kind of seemed like he was with those comments. I know he's already struggled with that. Not making fun of that, but listen, I mean, Irsay has struggled with that multiple times. He just doesn't know when to quit, doesn't know when to shut his mouth. It's just, it's just lost a running back because of it. Because if I'm Jonathan Taylor, I'm not suiting up for the Colts again. I don't know how any running back really suits up for the Colts after some of those comments. I don't know. So maybe let's try to sort of get a little PR team over there for Irsay. Let's try to maybe hire some more people. Try to just help him out with that because just lost one of the best running backs in the league. So tough one for the Colts. Sorry, Jose and Jeff, but all in on Anthony Richardson, I guess now. So let's go Richardson, my Gators. So.
And I know Jeff has kind of been skeptical on Anthony Richardson, rightfully so. I feel like there's a lot of hype there. We'll see. We'll see if it pans out. Could be. This situation is just it's so dumb because in the midst of like a running back controversial time to be a running back, to be an owner as well with a running back, the relationship dynamic of a running back in your owner right now is not in a great spot as well. Owners don't want to pay them. They think they're very replaceable. Running backs thinking they should get paid more. You have probably, arguably, I know the offensive line, Quentin Nelson, those guys are super important as well on that team. They've got a couple defensive studs, but arguably your best player, who is your running back, actually probably one of the running backs in the league who has the power to take over a game for your team, that's not in a good situation. This is probably the one running back that you do want to make happy. And I know we had a kind of a disappointing year last year, but I agree with everything you said, Ben. I don't know what he's doing. Jerry Jones has been saying some stupid things as well. We forget about that, which is great because of the things Jim Irsay is doing. I don't know what's going on with his personal life, but they have to figure this out. Aiden coming in. Jim Irsay was right. He's replaceable. Whether that's true or not, he's probably trolling. I just disagree. I think that offensive line is great. I think he could fit on that team. I think you look at that, a young running back, as you mentioned, Ben, you kind of want to lean. A young quarterback, you want to lean on that young running back as well, kind of aid him, slowly shift him into the league. It's tough. I mean, I don't know where Jonathan Taylor's going to go. I know there definitely will be a place for him, pending if the owner decides to not be an absolute asshole with this trading process. But I don't know how this is going to unfold. My gut always leans to this. It leaned to this with Barkley, and it was right. He's going to be back. That's what my gut says. I think the same thing for Taylor. I don't know why. I think he's going to at least finish this year out. I know Ben's like, no chance. I don't know. I think so. I could see Irsay being kind of an asshole and not trading him. I don't know what they're going to get. I know people are saying the market's not what people would think because obviously, right now, that's the biggest thing right now is talking about how running backs aren't worth much. Some people think that's going to play into this. I know teams would kill for him in terms of draft capital and just trading some other assets to get a running back like Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. I don't think he's going to leave. I think this is a very sticky situation, and I think it's just going to continue in Indianapolis. It's not going to fold in the right direction, and it's going to be a situation that lingers over a young quarterback like Anthony Richardson, who's just trying to get a grasp on the league and on the team and as the starting quarterback in a very, pivotal moment where this team and this franchise needs to take that leap that they haven't taken since Andrew Luck retired.
Yeah, definitely. Jeff coming in here. JT to the Pats. No, I don't.
No chance.
Yeah, he's not
Didn't
going
even
to
want
the
to get
Pats.
down.
Another troll.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, another troll. Listen, as Aiden coming in there saying 860 yards and 4 touchdowns is easily replaceable. Listen, yeah. Positions replaceable. I don't know if Jonathan Taylor for that team. How are you going to market this team now? I mean, obviously you got Richardson, but that's it. That's it now. I just mentioned that one. Obviously, the stats easily replaceable. He just had a bad year. That Colts team had a bad year. They just struggled. Obviously, one of the worst teams out there and warranted that draft pick. So, I don't think it's all on him. Offensive line struggled too, as I said. Injury plagued season for them. You can't just look at that one season. Aiden's just nitpicking right here. He's doing a little trolling.
I'm starting to think he might have had him in a fantasy league, and that's kind of the anger coming.
I was about to say I don't think he did, but he's just a little upset all the time. He just wants to be the troll. But I mean, yeah, those stats obviously replaceable, but I think the Colts just need something. So now what do the Colts have? They don't have anybody on defense. They got Anthony Richardson, Pittman Jr. I mean, he's what now? I mean, you really. Let's just double Pittman Jr. and just let whoever's going to beat him. T.Y.'s not even there anymore. I don't even know where T.Y. is. Here we go. Bringing up Jeff Wilson. That's just a different scheme. That's a 49ers scheme. They just love running the ball. You can't bring up a 49ers running back. You can't have that comparison. Shout out Scooby. Scooby's here. Welcome, Scooby.
Scooby. I agree.
Zach Martin. Yeah,
100%.
That's all. Yeah. We don't need. Yeah, we don't even need to dive too deep into that one. I'll let Josh get a little more. Obviously, if he wants to put a little more into that one after this. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I think they got to pay him. You need to protect Dak. Whatever, Dolphins, same difference. Whatever. Who's under the 49ers tree, Aiden? I forgot, guess who's coaching the Dolphins now? So obviously got those schemes from the 49ers. But whatever. That was on me. Dolphins. I got that one wrong, but same offensive scheme brought over from the 49ers, Mike McDaniel. So just want to rebuttal him on that one, but we'll get Josh's take on the Zach Martin. Let's see if he's got anything else.
One of the best, I'm going to say probably the best at his position. I mean, he played all over the place last year. We flexed him in at left tackle. He was the blind spot. He was right tackle. I think he's done everything on the offensive line at a very efficient, I'm talking all-star, Pro Bowl level besides center. The only thing he hasn't done is snap the ball. He's the anchor of our offensive line, and guess what? He's protecting Dak Prescott. He's one of those big anchors that we've had for a while in the prime of his career. This guy's been taking pay cut after pay cut after pay cut to bring in guys. This is what happens. If you look around the league, a lot of the offensive linemen get paid a crap ton, and then guess what? They restructure their contracts to bring in other guys. It's always the offensive linemen. I know Zach Martin's done it multiple times. He's going to be back either way. He's already told Tyron Smith, all of those guys in the Terrence Steele, all of them. Tyler Biotish, I'll name the whole offensive line. He's told all of them he's going to be there. Hold it down for him. He's a team player. He'll be back. He's just kind of going through their things. I think Jerry Jones I think he's put on a front. I think he's going to open up that paycheck for him, rightfully so. I'll argue with anybody here. Second most important player on the Cowboys behind Micah Parsons, in my opinion. And he deserves the money. I'm not saying I want to put him to like a 6-year long-term contract because he's 32 years old. He's getting older. Offensive linemen can last long. Andrew Whitworth lasted a while, and Zach Martin is a dime a dozen himself, who's been, knock on wood, very healthy throughout his whole career. But you got to pay this guy. Cut it out, Jerry Jones. He's not wrong. We do have to other mouths to feed. You just paid Trayvon Diggs. Micah Parsons is coming up. CeeDee Lamb in a couple years as well. But come on, it's Zach Martin. He's our best offensive lineman. He's shown you what he could do. It's not like you're paying somebody you've never seen do anything before, or he's on a rookie contract. No, that's not the case. Pay the guy. Sorry, big little tangent there. But I want to hear this from Ben. I want to hear this George Pickens.
He's pushing this one. He's pushing this narrative all day.
Definitely. Let's hear it.
Yeah, listen, 800 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think he's going to. I think he's going to double it. He's going to double that.
I don't hate the yards. I just want to say, I don't hate the yards, but I don't like the touchdown number.
Yeah, maybe the yards. Listen, we got Kenny throwing it. Kenny likes to distribute, not the long ball. We like to go a little short, intermediate passes. So it might be close with the 800. I just wanted to say the double for the line, but definitely the touchdowns are a little disrespectful. But in another case, we got another great core of wide receivers. We got Moose, Deontay Johnson. I'm not going to throw Allen Robinson in there yet, but I mean, it's just another name out there. So, yeah, we got plenty of wide receivers to dispense the ball to. So maybe that's why, that touchdown number might be a little low, but she's just trying to give some disrespectful stats. But we know George Pickens is the next big thing. He's going to be the next top tier wide receiver. Obviously, everyone's seen the catch today, so that was just another catch. Not too good. That's on Joey Porter Jr. Maybe Joey Porter Jr. top, another top rookie we got. Let's try to get that one under control, but let's not go too hard on Joey Porter. I don't want him losing his confidence. But George Pickens, is that guy. Listen, he does a lot of talking. Listen, he can put it up. She is just upset. These Patriots fans are just upset that they got to settle for Tyquan Thornton instead of him. They're just a little upset that they got Thornton. So let's do Thornton's numbers. Let's see if he can get 800 yards and 4 touchdowns. Let's compare. George Pickens, Tyquan Thornton's numbers. I guess he's on the path to being him. Maybe, like I said, let's not throw the ball at teammates. Maybe don't throw it at his face. But he's on the way to being him. So I'm going to remember that. Remember that, everybody. I want to see the numbers at the end of the season between Thornton and George Pickens. And then let's see who's talking.
Wow, Ben coming out with some hot shots here. Before we wrap up, we still got some time left. One thing that's kind of been getting a little bit of traction here, this has been a huge conversation that's been going on in our group chats. I feel like even NFL Network and, there's been a lot of hype around this guy. He's my favorite player in the league that is not on the Cowboys. Justin Herbert just got paid big money. I think he's worth every cent of that money. We've seen him. Besides last year, he has ascended every single year. I think he threw for, I got to look it up, but I think he threw for like over 10,000 yards in his first 2 years. I think it was 35, 40 touchdowns in 1 year. Then the next, he's gotten better every single year. Made it to the playoffs last year. Finally, that was their big gripe. At least get to the playoffs. At least get to the playoffs. He finally does. They blow it to the Jaguars, rightfully so. Huge disappointment. It was the AFC Cowboys. I know. I've heard it all the time. Interesting take here. I've heard a bunch of stuff, and a lot of people, they look at their quarterback rankings. I mean, I personally, however you want to look at it, my top 3 goes Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I think that's like, a pretty solidified as it gets in terms of just right now, and that's just what I think. A lot of people have Herbert in the top 5. A lot of people don't have Herbert in the top 5. A lot of the arguments have been, well, why can't Lamar Jackson be better than Justin Herbert? At least he's won an MVP. Justin Herbert hasn't. Oh, they go back and forth on the on the playoff games. Some person even came in here and said, nah, Herbert isn't tier 1, he's tier 2. I wanted to hear some of your thoughts on this. 1, if we like this contract extension. And 2, where do we rank Justin Herbert in the league? I want to hear from you guys, the comments, and I want to hear Ben. Very curious in hearing this because this has been a hot topic for a while, dating back to even last season.
Oh yeah, as you mentioned, Josh, he seems to be getting better every year, but I don't know. I feel like he gets a little disrespected in there. But I'm still kind of tears at me. I know I was reading this one in the chat. And gee, I'm down for that friendly wager. We will talk about the details of that friendly wager another time, but I'm down for that wager. But for Herbert, I think they and the Chargers just more so get into this one. I think they had to do another one. They got to sign him. They got that extension. I think they improved it. Jeff, no, he's not going to leave. We'll get to that one. I don't think he's going to leave. They can't let him go. They're just too big for that offense. Yeah, I was about to say this. I'm gonna stick on one side. I'm gonna stick on one. Josh is trying to sway me. No, I think he's gonna stay. I think the Chargers will come to their senses. But Herbert, it's not better than Mahomes. He's not better than Burrow. Not better than Allen. I put him at 5. I think he gets in the top tier. I got Jalen Hurts ahead of him. I think Hurts. I like that dual threat quarterback. I think he's just got a better skill set right now. Obviously, better team, but Hurts is a proven winner. Herbert, obviously, the Chargers loss. That's going to be a big one, big haunting one for them. That is a bad Chargers loss right there. Let's see Jeff's list. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's a good one.
It's funny because it's yeah.
He threw Mac Jones.
I love that you love the show. You watch the show a lot.
He gets the show. Jeff gets the show. I don't know. We're just gonna ignore the Mac Jones in there. You got to worry about if Mac Jones can beat out Zappy. So they got to worry about that. Let's see if we can get that quarterback
power shots. Holy crap!
You got to worry about that. But no, I think Jeff got it right. Up until that, we'll obviously switch to Jones and Herbert. And Dak, Dak obviously gets in the top 10. He's just trolling, but obviously, I'll put Dak over Pickett. Listen, I don't know, maybe a couple years we'll talk about it, but right now, obviously, Dak's better than him. Jeff, we get it. Well, I got the point, Jeff. I know it didn't work with the spaces, but we got the point with that. I got that one. Here we go. Yeah, she's just trolling. Say everyone's just taking shots. Listen, it's football season. We're getting into it. But yeah, I think, yeah, this is the great season, Josh. But I think he sneaks into that top tier. Obviously putting Rodgers. You can probably make a case for him above Herbert, but I put Herbert in the top tier. I slide it in there. I think he's the last quarterback of the top tier of these young guys, but I think he's there. I think he's deserved enough, earned enough. Let's say deserved. I should have stuck with the first word right there, but Lamar's still too injury prone for me right now. Obviously, MVP season. He's proven himself as a passer. If healthy, I'll take Lamar over Herbert, but I think just the health is injury concerns, and they're both just kind of chokers in the playoffs. So they kind of just take a pick with that one. They haven't proven themselves in the playoffs, but I'd take Lamar over Herbert if I'm starting a franchise.
It's funny. I'm opposite. I'm as big as Justin Herbert as it gets. I got him in my top 5. I don't even have him top 4. I'm a huge Herbert advocate. I'm just as big as Jose with that. I'm not saying Jose is trying to say Justin Herbert over Burrow. It was close. I think Burrow has that it was close when they first got into the league, I will say.
Yeah.
But Burrow just has that that it factor,
exactly.
that clutch gene kind of. He's proven he can go, and I know Jose has a point. At least you can get to the Super Bowl. I even think Jalen Hurts has climbed in there for me, and I know everybody's gonna go, all of a sudden Josh loves Jalen Hurts. I've been a supporter of him. I like him a lot better than I ever liked Carson Wentz. I think Jalen Hurts is a smart runner as well. Hot take. I'd take him over Lamar Jackson any day. But yeah, I think it's fun. Maybe we can do a little bit more of these. I remember we did the tiers last year. Maybe we can bring back the tier makers for us. But yeah, I had to get the questions here on Justin Herbert. He got paid. I think we're all in consensus here. Audience, hosts, he deserved this money. He should get it. I'm excited to see the steps they take this year. I think no matter what, at least win a playoff game or two. I don't care how stacked the AFC is. You got to do that. Especially getting better on the offensive side of the things. Defense is getting a little healthier as well. They got to make a move. They got to do something in the playoffs. But wanted to kind of pick your brains on that. I agree. I think Justin Herbert's top. I think he's tier 1. I can hear the argument for guys like Jared and saying, oh, why does he get all this hype? That's just my personal opinion. Also wanted to say this, Nick DeVosta, I wasn't going to let it go unnoticed. The Yankees are blowing right now. We are in last place. We got the captain back. Got Bader. Carlos Rodon having a good start the other day. He's pitching tonight. I'm actually going to do a live update to see how he's doing right now because he had a good outing the last game. But Yankees are in last. I will say that. And the Rays are up 4-0. So there goes that. Carlos Rodon absolutely getting Rays. Hammered. So there goes that. There goes Carlos Rodon. Just hasn't been the same since the injury. I'm completely wrong. Yeah, now I'm just going to get mad after we get off air. But yeah, no, Yankees are last. I'll say that. I'll leave it like this. Dak Prescott's hungry. I agree with everybody. He's got to prove people wrong this year. Same with Justin Herbert. I think a little bit more pressure on Dak, though. These guys finally got to take that step. And Micah Parsons, love the energy, but whoa. Don't kill my quarterback now. I don't know if you guys seen it, but almost a weird, scary situation of Parsons taking down Dak.
He's got to chill.
They wear the red pennies for a reason. I know he sees red and he kind of goes like he's like a bull charging, but gotta relax a little bit. But another great show. Glad to be back. We're gonna keep this rolling next week. Maybe we'll do some tier makers next week. I want to thank everybody for hopping in here. Scooby. Bunch of the other people here, Charlie, Jeff, Mikey. Hope your summer's going great. Mikey, I'm going to be at basic camp for a lot of the weeks, so you can stop by. And I just want to thank everybody for joining in. And as always, I'm going to turn it over to Ben.
Yeah, we'll get to ICG's comment too, but shout out to Scotty. Always love seeing Scotty in there. That's my guy, Scott. But yeah, you probably won't be seeing me at church after the fantasy season. My fantasy season punishment is almost up. Everyone knows I have to I go to church every Sunday, take a picture of me getting there and leaving. It's closing. It's almost start football season, so I'm excited. I'm almost done with that. No offense to churchgoers, but went 18 years of my life, so I'm all set with that now. But I love seeing Scotty in here. Scotty, get in there anytime. 7 to 8. That's my guy. Always love seeing you, man. And last shot for Josh in there. Dak is in that Kirk Cousins tier. I'll leave it with Dak. Josh can sit on that one after the show. And a Scoopy, 35% chance to make the playoffs. Joke. So solid one for Scoopy's always slipping in these nice jokes at the end. Shout out Scoopy. Always love seeing him here. But yeah, shout out to everyone participating. Love these comments. It was a great show. Great to be back, as Josh said. And I'll end it with this. George Pickens over Tyquan Thornton.